Hello, folks. We are live via StreamYard, the Yard of Streams, and we are talking. This is part 2 about reviewing and scoring beer. And so I have a beer tonight. I'm in Louisiana. Jeremy is northwest of me in Arkansas, so he's furthest west. I'm in Louisiana. Michael's further east, and then Jesse with Bumpy Road Brewing is the furthest east, northeast. Now I have this kind of strange but very powerful double India Pale Ale called Bosom, and it made me think of Stout Sunday with Michael. Bosom double India Pale Ale, twin screw steamer, 8.4% alcohol, 75 international bitterness units, and it's original gravity of 17.15.
Cool.
Yeah, I've just grabbed a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, so that's what I've got.
Now, brass tacks. I was wondering about brass tacks today. Oh, there he is. He's got the connect in.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to read people's comments before we get started. JTLBZ says, cheers from Ohio, having some Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Gabe says, hi. Maddie says, hello, everyone. Craig Swinson, hello, fellas. Good topic. Jeremy Vesson, cheers, everyone. Bart Robinson, good evening, fellas. Hope everyone is well. Now, I don't have to talk. I have a tendency to talk loud when I'm doing these because I get a little confused about the audio. I'm not meaning to be a blaring loudmouth. Private chat says, hi, Ron. Cheers. Jeremy. Sam. Okay. So we got brass tacks. Nice brass tacks. That's interesting. He's in Tennessee, right?
North Georgia.
Oh, North Georgia. Oh, sorry. He's further east. What do you have tonight?
Yingling Lager.
Okay. I saw a big keg of that today at a grocery store. They were about to deliver it to somebody. There are 2 people in this area of mine that order kegs of Yingling traditional lager about once every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, Jeremy has Michelob Ultra.
Well, I didn't know if I wanted.
We're not really reviewing it. We're not going to examine them. We're just talking about what we happen to be drinking, if anything.
I'm just going to drink this because I'm going to save the other ones for reviews. You know.
Mike Komaroff is drinking.
Bumpy, have you seen this one? This is from Lord Hobo. Also, it's called Angelica Hazy IPA. Have you seen it?
I have seen it on the shelves. Have not picked it up.
It's 5.5%.
Huh. Kent Beer Review says, nice to see you using StreamYard. Yes, I had to use it because there was no other option that we could find that was a good option, at least.
Eric's in the basement.
Eric's in the basement. Look
Yeah,
down.
he's backstage. We call it the basement, backstage.
Okay, hold on. We can only have a number of people, so we'll talk. And then when somebody feels like they want to let Shane Fudge in, then you can drop out. I can't.
Somebody dropped out.
Who did?
3, 4, 5. Oh, that was Bumpy.
I think he's making room for Shane.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
There he is.
Shane, how are you?
Shane's in our.
Oh, there we are.
Hey guys, how you doing, Shane?
I'm doing good. Doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, doing really good. Just hanging out, enjoying.
I didn't mean for him to jump off of there just for me. I mean, I just want to have to be quick on McGraw on these videos.
Bumpy, sit tight. We'll just rotate people in and out because you got a limited thing. So anybody that, when somebody's ready to let Bumpy take a turn, feel free to jump out. And plus, y'all have the comments, and I'll be glad to read, of course, the comments that you can post. Do it on the live comments, though, so everybody can see it. Sure. Now, we were talking last month about the reviewing and scoring, and we had a big lively conversation that went on longer than I expected. And we were talking about the idea of using I was saying I use a college grading scale because that was what I could relate to, 100-point scale. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't use a 100-point scale, I use a 10-point. Well, it's the same thing. They'll say, you gave it an 87, but I only gave it an 8.7. Well, you know, we have to be numerate if we're going to, you know, do that. So if you're saying out of 5, okay, we can convert that to out of 10. We can convert that out to 100 because what you're still doing is a percentage thing. Now, some people will prefer to only use letter grades. Like Michael remembers 4 years ago, I didn't use numbers. And Michael Komarov sort of emphasized and got me onto the number scheme. You remember?
Wow, okay.
I think that's where that originated with me, huh, Michael?
Yes, when you were my house is an A minus, and I said if you can convert it to numbers, it gives you a better range to decide if there, because there can be more play with numbers than with letters.
Right. And so I was thinking about, when I got back to Louisiana, I was thinking about what you had sort of, what you say, taught me. And somebody's got a lot of background noise, I noticed, like a lot of rigmarole.
Is it mine?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Let me mute myself because my wife is in a couple of rooms from here. I can hear the TV. It might be her TV in there. Let me mute myself right now.
Okay. You get that sometimes, that little warbling. There was a little warbling in the background. We'll have to monitor that because Thomas Meadow says he's drinking a Lord Hobo Freebird Ale, 5.5% alcohol, golden ale. Brass taxes, what are you drinking?
Yingling, traditional lager.
Oh, that's right, Yingling. I gotta try to keep this together. Shane's gonna tell us what he's drinking. But
He's playing the bass.
so you went to. No, I'm still hearing that warbling, so it can't be Shane.
Now I'm muting mine, Jay. Now tell me if it's
Okay, mute yours. So we'll talk for a minute, Michael, and we'll see what happens. Well, now I got everybody muted, so I can't. There's no control group, you know. I think it was Michael, but I couldn't tell because when Michael muted himself, everybody muted. And well, if it's totally quiet, it'd be hard to tell who's.
I'm unmuted now, so
yeah, I don't think it was you, Shane.
Yeah, I mute myself too.
But Michael was talking about numbers, and I started thinking about that when I got back to Louisiana, and I said that's a better idea because you can kind of go. It gives you a lot of play. And it doesn't even matter if you're using a 10-point scale because you could say 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9. You know?
Yep.
So you're not too limited. And then we got into a discussion. Craig says Freebird is really good and a good deal at $14.99 an 18-pack. Just wish it was called Firebird. Firebird. Yeah, they call it Firebird.
Freebird, play it.
They could have different levels of that Firebird beer. They could have the Firebird Esprit. They could have the Firebird Trans Am. They could have the Firebird Sport Coupe. All right.
Thunderbird, cheap hobo wine. There you go.
Oh, no, not Thunderbird. Hey, Thunderbird, you could have a Thunderbird Landau or a Thunderbird Silver Heritage Edition. Now, Shane, what do you drink?
Drinking a Lost 40 IPA. It's Dig the Ride Trail Ready IPA. It was canned on the 16th of July, and it is a 6.3% ABV beer. I've had a few of these already, so I already know, you know, that it's very citrusy. It's got a lot of orange, like orange peel. Quite juicy. It's a very smooth for 6.3%. You wouldn't think it would be that high, but it's been very enjoyable so far. This 6-pack I'm drinking through. I think I got one left in the fridge.
Sound like something I would like. Now, in 10 minutes, 11. I'll say. Let me say. In 11 minutes, in less than 11 minutes, we're going to let somebody opt out and let Bumpy come in, and then we can rotate about every 10 minutes.
Good idea.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
So we were saying that. Now, what I'm talking about right now is what we were talking about last week. then we were saying, now Jesse talked about his system is a little more complex, but he feels comfortable using it. And so as long as you're comfortable using your system and it's consistent, I think we all agree that it doesn't really matter. It's just when it gets kind of awry and screwball, like people will say, some of the stuff I don't like is where somebody will say, well, I was going to give this beer an A because it's a great beer, but the date's not on it, so I'm going to give it a B. Well, to me, that's like you're not testing what you're supposed to be testing, so it makes the scoring a little bit invalid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you get people that will completely, like I said in the chat here, you got people that will completely go a 0 out of 100 just because there's no date on the bottle. But if I were to rate it, so you then therefore you just rated.
Yeah, well, that's madness, you know.
Yeah. But for me, I like the number rating. But once I give the number rating, I know in my brain where that would translate to as a letter grade. Like if I said 93 for me, or like a 92, let's say for me, I know that that's going to be an A- if I were to get a grade in school. So I kind of use both of those as really relative terms.
Grinder says, come on, guys, hit the like button. Yeah, I think you want to be consistent. And you can express it in a scoring like we do. I use the B.R.G method, but the B.R.G is defunct, so you can't look it up, y'all. Don't even bother looking it up. It failed. It failed. They tried to compete with Beer Advocate and Rate Beer, and it didn't work. Although, actually, the B.R.G was probably in some ways better than those two sites, but everything doesn't catch on. But they taught me to use these parameters. Poor is you basically can't drink it. It's so bad you dump it out. It's poor. It's horrible. Fair. I think they had something below. I think there was something below poor. It was just undrinkable. And then poor was like a D, bad. Fair was a C. You know. Well, you understand it. Good is a B. Excellent is an A. You know, this is not difficult. And then world class would be above an A. It's just beyond, almost like a conception. Like you can't believe it's that good. But those are so rare that you may never drink one in your life. So anybody else got something to say before we go into the other parts of it?
No, I disagree with what you guys score it. Like in the 100-point system, it gives you more of a range to me. Get more, more accurate.
Which is more important to you, Jay, the overall or in style?
Well, that's a good question. And I think Ronnie S. says he's drinking Ice House Edge right now in the pool. Ice House Edge. Okay. A Hellas Doppelbock. Okay. Adjunct Doppelbock. I think they're both important. It's like in tandem. It would be like saying almost in a way, what's better? What's more important to me, my circulation or my respiratory system? I guess they're both important. And what I mean, and I'm not trying to be flip or, you know what I'm saying, sarcastic. I'm trying to really make a point. I think you want to give an overall idea of the product, whether it's beer, wine, or liquor. Fine. The style is very important. And I know some people, this is where their reviews fail. They'll say, oh, this beer is bad because I don't like the style. No. The beer is not bad because you don't like the style. That'd be like saying onions are bad because you don't like onions.
Or somebody reviewing a light beer and they say, I'm going to give it a poor score because it doesn't have hardly any flavor. Well, what do you expect when you open up a light beer? You got to look at the beer in context. A lot of the time, the context is going to give you a really great perspective on what it is that you should be reviewing. Now, in that statement, I'm not saying you should always be giving the highest ratings because we're pressured by how people review beers. Say you're drinking, you're drinking Treehouse beer, and it's like everybody's ranting and raving about it. It would behoove me to not give it a great score. Well, if you don't really like it, it's your own personal opinion. Please do rate it lower, and please do be pretty honest about that.
Right. Kent Beer Review says, I'm with you, Jeremy. I use a 0 to 10 or untapped 0 to 5, 0 to 5. Well, it's still a 100-point scale because it's convertible to 100. You know? So.
Yep.
Thomas Meadow said, enjoyed your recent Keystone Light video. Yes, I watched it too, and I did like it. He gave it a C. So it was, okay. So Shane, to answer your question, I think they're both very important, and I don't like every style, as we know. Who does, right?
Yeah. You're honest though with yourself on the difference in style. I like that about you, that you don't let that skew your opinion on a beer, even if you don't like it, or you know maybe you like it too much and you still a pretty even keel. I've seen a lot of like really well known beer reviewers on YouTube that let that skew their opinion every time because you know that they don't like that beer, and they'll tell you they hate that style. And Greg Puckett, I mean, he's guilty of that. He
Name drop. Bam, bam, bam.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit pissed. So not that on you guys, but
I actually encourage name dropping because I don't really like these videos where people will say this person over here, and you know who they're talking about. Like, be a man. Why you got to be a mouse?
yeah.
There you go.
If
At least you know where you stand.
Yeah.
right, if you can't say it, don't even imply it. Then
Yeah.
Kent says it's best to use what's best for you. Yes, it is best to use what's best for you as long as what's best for you makes sense, right? People might say, what's best for me is doing something that makes no kind of, it has no kind of like logic to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't agree with that. But
Michael is in Michael Kormroff's in quite a unique situation, doing his beer tastings on like the first Thursday of every month with a whole bunch of people. I'm kind of curious as to, even if they're not really rating it for a review show or maybe even on a Beer Advocate, what's the rating system that you guys typically use out there in Brooklyn, New York?
They use the same rating system, but we do on a 1 to 10 scale with quarter points, half points, 3/4 points. But you could expand that to the 100-point scale if you wanted to. And it's funny.
right, you got I mean, as long.
I was going to say, Jay, at the very top end, very few beers reach over 9. I mean, I'm not saying it's never happened, but it's rare. So your average score is, everything seems like it's above 7. So we don't get too many things that are in the C- range. It's almost all B- up, and the middle is where most of the beers are. In the middle.
You're talking about in your group.
In the group that we have on, and the group at the beach club too. Same thing.
I think sometimes I like beer too much because I find a lot of my ratings are A's.
No, I don't think that's an indictment against you. No, I think the problem we're dealing with right now is that there is an incredible amount of really good, excellent beers on the market. So that is a good problem to have. That's not really even a problem.
I mean, there's just a lot of times where, like, I just
Hey, let Bumpy come in for me.
Oh, for you? That, okay, Michael. Okay, Michael. We'll get back to you. Well, Michael, but you got to. You didn't drop out.
You can drop him. You can drop him
How
out.
do you do that?
I think you click on his video.
Oh, remove from the stream. Okay.
Yeah. There you
so
go.
what I was saying is, like, I see a lot of these like really popular beer review sites, like Rate Beer, stuff like that, and I see a lot of people giving beer that I think is really good horrible ratings, and I just don't understand that, because from what I found in the last like 10 years that I've been drinking beer, is it's not really common to come across like a D or F beer.
It's very rare. It's rare, but it's possible. Believe me, I got some I could let you try, and you'd say, "Yeah, that's an F."
Camo. What else was it?
Camo would qualify. Most Four Locos, those atrocities from Eastern Europe like Boom, Bam, and Super Brew 15. I will send you money. Now, I'm not a person that sends beer and stuff, but if you could down a 500 milliliter of Super Brew 15 and it doesn't come back up, you deserve the money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna have to write that down. Super Brew 15. Is that pretty terrible?
I really don't want to make that challenge because people are going to be like, "You killed my uncle." It's like, I didn't kill him. He took
We had to bury my uncle today.
challenge. It's beyond, you can't even conceive. And this is what's bringing me to the next point. And I know Jeremy's going to talk, and I'm going to let him. Ronnie last month said, well, I don't understand the 100-point scale, because once you get below 60, it's an F, and that's 60% of the 100. I said, yeah, right. And then we got off on other things. But here's the point of that. There's almost no beer on the market that's that low. You see? Even Michael Komarov said, how can they take a beer that's like a Euro lager, like a Spaten or Kronenbourg 1664, and they're scoring it a 7 out of 100. Believe me, if it was a 7 out of 100, that would be the last beer you ever drank. Because that would be the last day you would be alive, probably. And I'm unanimous in that. Hey, I like to make. I stole that comment from Mrs. Slocum. Okay, Bumpy, what, Jeremy?
Go ahead,
Well,
Bumpy.
I just want to say Michael didn't have to actually drop off because there was 5 in
That's
the
right.
stream.
He must have had to go do something.
Eric dropped off because he was trying to make room, and then I said, jump back on.
I think he had something come up. Michael did.
Yeah, somebody was calling him to go do something. So the Whiskey Scout says, hello, fellas. Hey, Whiskey Scout. What?
Oh, Eric's in the basement again.
Okay, now JBM is making ridiculous comments. Okay, now
Yeah, the way I look at like a lot of the scoring, I mean, I think, obviously the higher the number, to me anyways. I know you can throw decimals in there and stuff like that, but the higher the number, the harder it becomes, because there's more leeway, you know what I mean, to give a score. So if you have 100, I mean, you have a broader range to actually score something off of. If you are down in like doing the tens, it just seems like it becomes less and less. Like if you get down to the 5 scoring, a lot of them are doing by the quarters. So you go. Most of them are anywhere from like 3.5 to 5, anyways. When they score out of the 5 system, it seems like so. But they seem to do by the quarter, so it's like 3.5, 3.75.
Yeah,
4,
you got to be even more precise. Not precise, but I think having the lower amount of numbers at 1 to 5 is even harder to get a really accurate rating out of your beer.
It's like cutting a little block of cheese with a big, huge hatchet. It's hard to.
You got to really nitpick at the end. You got to really nitpick what you're really going to stick with. And that's why I think the quarter point works really well inside of the 5-point rating scale. Like a Beer Advocate, I don't know how they do it now. I haven't done a review on Beer Advocate in years, but they used to do it that way, where you did the quarter points.
Beer Advocate went back to their old system about 2 weeks ago. Hey, here's another thing I want to mention. I watch beer reviews and people make scores. I was watching this guy. He does really interesting 60-second beer reviews. I just started watching his channel last night. I didn't know it existed. So he says, okay, I'm going to give the. Now, here's the thing that confuses me about his videos. He'll say, oh, this beer is really good. It's delicious. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Well, that's a 60%. So I'm not, but he doesn't explain what the numbers mean. You know what I'm saying? Because he's saying, this is really good. It's a 3. This is really good. It's a 3.5. Oh, I love this. It's a 4. This is dynamite. It's a 4.5. So I'm trying to figure out, well, all the stuff you're saying is really good, but why are you giving such a range? And you're all saying you like it, So
yeah, and 60 seconds is, I mean, even on Busch Light, you can talk about Busch Light for longer than 60 seconds. I don't think you're really going to learn too much in a 60-second range. Now, when I was making beer reviews, I would start rambling off for 15 minutes and probably lose people's interest. But 60 seconds is not a lot of time.
No, but that wasn't my issue. My issue with him was that he wasn't explaining what the scores meant. When I do beer reviews, I try to explain what my score means, which I think.
I guess what I'm trying to say is it's hard to explain stuff like that when your time is so crunched, you know. Maybe.
You're right. I don't like that idea. Now, Michael, we're going to let you back. Now, what are you saying? Mind your manners, Bumpy and Jeremy. What's happening? There's some kind
They're all
of trouble.
going crazy. They're all playing at each other and playing at each other.
I'll drop off and let Michael get in.
Well, hold on, Jeremy. Hold on. Hold on. Don't be rash.
Get some preparation H for that.
JBM. Now, if a talent scout is watching you, he might hire you to be a comedian. So keep it going.
There's a lot of starving comedians out there.
There's a lot of them and a whole lot of bad ones. Here's the story of a man named Ronnie who was drinking beer with 5 friends of his own. Right. Oh boy, the old Brady Bunch jokes.
We're a bunch of lovely ladies.
Yeah. All right. Now, JBM.
This stream yard is silly.
We get it. You vape. We get it. Hey,
put your finger on my beer.
There was something else I wanted to get to. I think we kind of agree on the whole rating thing. I think we do. It needs to be sensible. It needs to be valid. Valid meaning it's grading what it's supposed to be grading. When you're saying I'm going to give it a score lower because it doesn't have a date, guys, that's like telling a student, well, you did a great job on your test and you knew so much about World War II, but you forgot to put your name, so I'm going to give you a B instead of an A because I caught you on some weird technicality. No, then your scoring is not valid because you're not scoring him or her on her knowledge of World War II. You're scoring her on some capricious power trip.
I mean, I don't know. If you look at it that way, because a lot of like schooling, they want you to like show where you got your research from, and if that's one of the things that you have to show to get that score, you know what I mean? Like, did you just copy this right out of a textbook or?
Oh, you could always tell that. You could always detect that. But to give them a low score because they don't have their name, why not just tell them, hey, you got to put your name on it? You know, this is not difficult.
Yep.
Right? How could you? I would tell them, I can't grade this. I don't have your name. I don't even know who did the test. And they would write their name, you know. But I had a student ask me one time, well, I spelled that country wrong. Is it going to be points off? I said, well, this is not a spelling test. It's a history test. If you want to take a spelling test, go to your English class. You know?
One of the things like I've come across in my scoring, because I decided, you know what, I'm gonna kind of change the way I look at the appearance of the beer, basically, for scoring it, because part of it was like clarity of the beer. And so I was like, okay, well, if it's stated that it's hazy, if there's anything that states that it's hazy, then it should be hazy. And if it doesn't state it, then I'm going to knock it. But I was coming across so many IPAs lately that do not state that they are hazy, unfiltered, New England style, but yet they are basically a New England style IPA. I came across so many of them, I was getting tired of being like, I deduct a point, I deduct a point, I deduct a point. So now I'm just like, no, it's a beautiful beer. Get the 6 out of 6. But now I just kind of knock it for head retention if it should have head.
I think when Shane was talking about style, I think you do get beers from time to time that don't seem to fit the style. It's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Should it be a detractor? I guess it should be, because if you went to the International Spirits competition in San Francisco, California, where they review all these liquors, if it doesn't fit the style, there ain't no way it's going to win, you know?
Right.
If it's
if it's supposed to be like a straw color and it comes out like it's a brown, then
right. Yeah. If it's an IPA and it tastes like lemonade, you know, that's an issue. Even though you say, wow, it's a really great lemonade beer. I mean, it's a great shandy. Yeah, but it's an IPA. That's a problem. But I mean, I don't think we need to talk about that too much, right? Because that's like common sense, right?
Yeah. There's somebody, I think we were talking about this a little bit the last time I was on a chat. the beer judging certification program are all these guidelines that are in place for what style beer is, but I'm not sure exactly how they get to determine, at least in the judging in the judging sense, how a style is chosen as that particular style. Because I mean, anybody can drink a beer and look at what it says on the can, and they can basically be able to make up their own mind, and maybe they'll get a better drinking experience where they can say, oh, this says I'm drinking a New England style wheat ale. This is a New England IPA, and that's why I'm going to judge this beer as such. So, I mean, you got to use your own mind sometimes, but it's really nice to have that guideline that somebody can give you for perspective.
I know, Jeremy.
There's some too with the judging, like if you do the BJCP judging and stuff, where I mean it's speculated like this, like a Bock beer has to have these malts and only these malts can be used. You can't fare, outside of the box on that. And these are the appropriate hops.
Yep.
If somebody makes a Bock beer where they use the wrong type of malt or the wrong hops, then technically it's no longer a Bock. It's something else. It's a hybrid of something. It could still be great, but if it doesn't reach the style, then that's when they actually can't even pass it, even if it's fantastic. So.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Well, okay. So, okay, Gabe. Well, I don't know what we can do about that lot code. It's kind of not really part of what we're talking about, but that's interesting. My can date is 20170115, but that's really not germane to the discussion. Now, I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Now, who wants to let Mike or Komarov talk a little bit? Because I want to go into another topic.
I can jump out and let him on.
I will.
Nope. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I'll
do it.
I'll jump off.
No. Shane, you stay. You got. Hold on. I'm gonna go. I'll be back.
But don't leave completely.
I think he can join back in and get into the room if he wants.
Jeremy, making waves. Thank you, Jeremy.
I'm back.
Oh, this is how it's going to work in 2019. You're just going to have to deal with this for a while.
Yeah, we're dealing with like
If you actually think about it,
it's like the Royal Rumble or something. You got to tag team somebody to come in for you.
wouldn't you say the average ones we used to have averaged probably about 7 people? We rarely had 10.
no, it wasn't too often. But one time when we did Steel Reserve 211, we had 20 people, and
God, I remember that.
I had to do 2 separate ones.
Yeah, remember that? I had to do shifts. I was like, wow, that was like the peak of the thing. But and that was bizarre because I thought, well, why Steel Reserve? But anyway, we had a lot of people. Any last comments on this? I want to go into a second area.
No matter what your rating is, all of it is subject to opinion only. It doesn't matter if I give a beer a 95 out of 100 and Bumpy gives the same one a 45 out of 100. That is his valid opinion, and that's my valid opinion. And that's the cool thing about this whole YouTube drinking community thing, is that we all have our opinions. We all come together, and we all love talking about beer. And that's
but the only opinion that really matters is Michael Komarov's.
Yeah, Komarov. I can't even do this whole pointing. I'm pointing at Michael, but I'm not.
Yeah, because
you gotta point to the right to go left.
Oh, he's over there.
When you line up your beer, I'm so used to going right, but you have to go left on that too, or else you can't show it. Like it come like this, and it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, go Lord Hobo for the win.
Yeah, pointing down and up is the only thing that's correct now.
Right. Sideways now is reverse.
Yeah. Well, okay. So scoring, use some sense. Kent Beer Review says I have a can of Carlsberg Elephant Extra Strong
10.5. Damn.
Golly gee, I'm waiting for that. We get to 7 here.
I would love to drink that.
I can get, that's a beer that's been on the market since 1959. Well, actually, it's been 1955. But in 59, they went worldwide. It was an Africa-only product.
Damn.
But now they got this 10.5. Oh, I bet that's going to be shrill, so to speak. We'll probably never get it in America though.
They know their audience, target audience,
Looks like Shane has a hazy IPA there.
or a pale ale.
So pineapple. Lost 40 Tiny Umbrella.
Now I don't want to get onto beer specific things. I'll just mention that I enjoyed this bosom, but you got to enjoy really bitter stuff because boy, this beer is bitter. This beer is bitter like a beer that's bitter.
Trader Joe's beer.
Yeah.
Any little quick comments about your beer? Quick, like I just did.
I don't have any comments about my beer. It's gone, but everybody's had Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, right? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Thumbs up. Everybody's had it in their lifetime. All right. So you know what it tastes like. You know what it is. But no, I've noticed like there's different types of bitterness. Like you can have something that's like super bitter, but then like the types of hops that are used to make that bitterness, you can have like a really harsh, nasty bitter, or you can have something that's bitter but pleasant, kind of mellow. You know what I mean? It's still bitter. You still get it, but I've noticed that with some of them. Some of the beers I've had recently, which just like the bitterness was too harsh. And I like bitter too, but
well, then this one might really bug you because it's harsh. Woo, whoa.
Yeah, Shane. That looks good.
Any last comments? Because I want to bring up the second topic.
Let's do it. Second topic.
Go for it.
Go for it, baby. All right. Jeremy not only dropped out, he like disappeared from the planet over here.
Oh, he's not
He
even
better
in
come
the
back.
backstage area.
Victor Wang, he ain't in the basement. He's off the grid. Now, Victor Wang says, "Cheers, fine lads. Cheers to you, Victor." Now, here's the thing. I gotta get something to drink.
He's got a Panda Express logo.
It's just like you got to strike through his audio, and he's
anytime somebody posts a comment on the live Facebook, you Jay as the host can click on it, and we'll all see it on screen.
not Facebook.
Not
YouTube.
Facebook. You mean
Yeah, YouTube here. Yeah, we're on YouTube, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Or people could just read it.
True, but if you want to present their question to the world,
Right, to the world. Okay, look.
continue.
Oh, wait, we can't get into that, JBM, because that'll make the discussion go totally off topic.
Click it.
Yeah, we can't discuss that. Not that we're opposed to it. But that's going down a side road. The
We
second,
talked about that once on my channel. I'll go back in my channel and try to find it.
yeah, we're not opposed to that topic, but it's just it doesn't focus on the topic at hand.
Which is important.
I remember one time somebody told me, "You delete comments on Facebook that people make that you don't agree with." I said, "Wrong, you're wrong." I said I deleted straw man comments. Not to say that JBM is making straw man comments. It's not a political discussion. I said, but I delete straw man comments, which are meant totally only designed to deviate the conversation away from the main topic. And that was what I was saying. But here's the thing. Here's the second thing, and then I got to get something more to drink. We talked, and then I'm going to bring up this topic, and you tell me if we should discuss it now or should we wait till September, because it could be like setting off an atom bomb. You just say, "Oh no, why?" I think we made good points on the scoring, and I think we agreed on it generally. The third point I was going to make on scoring and reviewing beers was, what if you run across a beer, which I've done many times, that you find is either inappropriate or even offensive? I'm talking about the title and the graphics on the can and bottle. Should you let that impact your score, or should you? How should you handle that when you're doing the beer review? Should we wait till next time to talk about that? Because that can turn into a big thing.
In general, for me, unless it says death to or I hate, put in your own particular group or race, that's distasteful. Or go and kill somebody, that's distasteful. Otherwise, that's generally pretty funny. I'm into it. Let's see what it's all about. if it's gonna tell somebody physical, I mean, obviously the beer isn't gonna physically harm you unless you drink 17,000 of them, relatively. But unless it's gonna do that, it's supposed to be a funny and trite. And I mean, sometimes people are a little bit too PC in this world. But again, it shouldn't be specifically naming violence and harm towards a group or an individual. Otherwise, just have fun with it. It's beer.
I haven't really come across any beers that really offended me. There's some beers out there that some people were offended by, and it kind of, this is all made like the media and stuff like that anyways. There was that Yellow Belly beer, which they dressed it up like a KKK member. So people were like all offended by that, but there was actually a legit story underneath. You take off the whole ghost outfit there and the white hood, and it has a legit story behind it. So it's all in, to me labeling and stuff like that doesn't really matter for the taste of the beer or what the beer is. And I'm a guy, I cannot wrap presents. I might get a great gift, and just because I'm a shitty rapper doesn't mean that what I got isn't good. You know what I mean?
Shane, that beer from Arkansas.
Y'all want to talk about that? Y'all want to talk about that now? Then
we could talk about it for a couple of minutes. That beer from Arkansas, the Familia one, the stout.
Yeah,
Jeremy said one that used to be called MILF, and people.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah,
people objected to that. They said that was inappropriate to women, and it was an outrage. They did change the name, so I guess they agreed.
Yeah, they changed it this year. The first time it was called Mater Familias, but it had been called MILF for many years at Mother's Brewing Company.
So that was kind of, I can see the negative side from a woman reading that and saying it's an affront. So I do understand that. Wouldn't stop me from drinking it, though.
Oh, no. Yeah, once they ever tasted it, they're like, oh, my word, yeah. Let's,
but Michael, what is offensive about the Major Indoor Fencing League?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, Jay.
I've seen a lot of movies where they do the sword fighting and they have fencing, and if you want,
I've heard it called Mother's Imperial Liquid Fantasy.
So I'm a little caught off guard by that because I don't understand. But anyway, I just the point on many things,
well, the movie American Pie, really brought MILF to everybody's eyes, So. And I wasn't offended by that movie at all. Not at all.
No, but MILF, I was saying in my videos that it stood for Major Indoor Lifting Federation. I thought it had something to do with weightlifting, Major Indoor Lifting, where you lift weights and you do it inside and people score. So I said, well, if they're into lifting weights, because MILF, Major Indoor Lifting Federation.
That is just not what you thought.
AML, huh?
That is not what you thought.
Are you impugning my honesty on I.B.R.G? And then
not at all.
And the founders DKML, which I assume was Dynamic Kaleidoscope Malt Liquor.
Dynamic. That means it got a lot of ups and downs to it.
Yeah, DKML is Dynamic Kaleidoscope because it's like, 6 days, Lucy and Sky with Diamond, and it's a malt liquor. What you know about that?
Did you pour some milk?
But talking about offensive stuff, my attitude is if it's a beer that I get and I am offended by it or I take exception to it, I'll comment on it like I did with the Lagunitas Imperial Stout. I comment on it and I made good points, and then somebody said something kind of incoherent about it. But I still said the beer was an A+. And my policy is the beer's an A+, it's an A+. I don't care what message it sends. Now, if I don't like what the message is, you know what I do? This is my policy. Y'all can talk about to go get some water. You know what my policy is? I don't buy it. I don't even review it. I just ignore it. I pretend it doesn't exist. I just go on. There's so many beers on the market. I don't have to get into some big imbroglio about the message, I just ignore it. No big deal. No big deal. I see them on the shelf. I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. Politics, it doesn't bother me. Religion, it doesn't bother me. I just don't address it. But y'all can talk. I'll. Anybody wants to come on, drop off, whatever. But start talking. I'm going to get some water.
Before I
No,
forget,
I've come across definitely. I think politics has definitely come up big in a lot of breweries and beers, and there's definitely beers I've drank that are against what I think of politics. They're kind of on the opposite side of the fence, and they've come out and basically said that, if you listen to any brewery type news and stuff like that. But I've still, drank the beers. I have no issue drinking the beer. I don't go to a place because they think of they're on the other side of what I think is proper for, the politics that I believe in. Still go there. I just don't talk about that stuff. That's all.
Yingling supported Trump, and that wasn't the reason I didn't buy it.
You just didn't care for it.
I'm not a fan of anything. I like their black and tan, so I do like one thing they make. I'm not a fan of their lager or anything else they make. I've tried. I like their Lord Chesterfield ale in my earlier drinking stage. I'm past it.
That's not the reason I did buy Yingling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not for a political reason.
No, it wasn't because it's just that I'm really not that fond of the beer. It's okay though. Their beers are okay. I have reviewed their beers.
I didn't say, oh, the guy's supporting Trump, let me go run out and buy Yingling. I don't play games like that,
Right.
But on the other hand, if the guy would have said, oh, I'm supporting Hillary Clinton, I wouldn't have said I ain't buying a beer. It has to be a bit more.
No.
But I don't. But the whole point I'm trying to make is, should you let it influence your score? And I'm saying, no way. And I've seen people do that. They'll say, well, I don't like what they're shooting at, so I'm going to give it a low score. I'm like, are you crazy? It's about the beer. It's not about the political aspect of it. Now, Gabe says the Whiskey Scout was talking about a beer, and I said we can't get it. And then Gabe says, how about the beer names Bitches Brew or Dead Rogue? Rogue Dead Guy, is that offensive? It might be offensive to you, and it may not be offensive to other people. It just depends on the person. There's a beer from Evil Twin that I don't address. I don't deal with it. Do I go around making some big social justice warrior cause about it? No.
Even more Jesus.
I just don't deal with it. You'll never see a review from me on it. But do I preach about it? No, I do not.
We could take this. We could take this even further, actually, because there have been a few breweries that have practiced things or not gone forth with doing the right thing in a lot of people's eyes, I'll say, and they've come under fire. So, like, we can bring up Founders, stuff like that. Where you get into like racially charged stuff, and there's a lot of people that just stop buying Founders. I mean, we can kind of go into that too if you wanted to.
Oh yeah,
they make great beer.
I can tell you, I can list some of the beer reviewers that say I'm not going to review Founders beers because somebody made some allegations, and I said, oh ho, no way, I'm going to keep drinking Founders beers, not because of that, not to be spiteful. I just said, I'm going to keep drinking it. I mean, anybody can make an allegation. I can make allegations against any of you on this panel. People have made allegations about me, much of which is untrue. Some of it is.
Jay, would you also stay away from Duclaw's Brewing Sweet Baby Jesus for the same reason?
Ooh.
Well, I've never reviewed any of them.
Okay, well, Duclaw's out of Baltimore. I don't know. Maybe you don't get it.
We get it.
We'll get it here.
I've reviewed some Duclaw beers, yes.
Okay, that's one they make that also has Jesus in its title.
I told James P. Madonna that I did not want to review that beer because I found that the name was sacrilegious. And then he said I was a religious fanatic. And then we started kind of giving him a little ribbon about it. and then he said he was going to beat somebody up at the bridge. Now,
That's unreligious, no matter how you look at that one.
so I found that whole.
If he's not careful, he's going to meet Jesus at the bridge.
I
Yes.
went down to the crossroads.
Jesus one day, whether they believe it or not. But what I'm saying was
Yeah.
that, but I thought that was comical, you know. But more than a lot of people were saying, "Oh, can you believe that incident?" And I thought, well, yeah, because it makes it more interesting to watch it. It's just a little bizarre. But
Legitimate what happened. Now you all know.
But he said I was a religious fanatic. No, I'm not a religious fanatic. Because see, a religious fanatic would make some big long video about it and go around bothering people about it and make some big platform about it. I just didn't address it, you know. I didn't go off on making some screed about it. You
don't
know?
have a big microphone outside of some heavy metal concert going down with the metalheads.
Right. I mean, I don't care what DuClaw does. There's a lot of beer on the market. Like when I see these other beers, okay. Now, when I did the Lagunitas, I talked about that because I didn't see the hammer and sickle on the label until I was getting ready to review the beer. And I looked and I said, what? I said, oh, okay. I'm going to talk about it. Okay, no big deal. It was still an A+ beer. And I'm sure those DuClaw beers are good. People talk about them all day on Facebook, so they must be good. Right?
I've had that one. I like that one. I guess maybe another couple of DuClaw beers too.
I think more.
I've had unicorn farts.
Unicorn farts. Oh yeah, there's one.
I just think that a lot of people are talking about stuff like what's comical to them. If you flip it around, then they get offended. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You said such and such was funny. Oh yeah, well, then you said such and such, and I'm hurt, and I don't want to be your friend. I'm like, well, you're very selective in your offensive humor. So there's a problem with that. You know, people that want to play that offensive humor game, you can dish it out, but oftentimes they can't take it. You know what I'm talking about. So probably it's best not to do it. Why can't people just make beer labels that are, well.
What's so fun about that? What's so fun about taking the high road?
Yeah. Lots of great comedians took it, you know, that extra step further.
George Carlin did,
Andrew
right?
Dice Clay, you know.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. I can take it way further. But if people aren't going to ride down that highway with me, even though they claim that they're edgy. I'm like, nah, you're not edgy because you won't get in the car with me and ride down that road. And so, you know, I'm saying don't even get on the road. You know, it's problematic. It's like there's no point to it. So if you watch my videos, I'm usually not dealing with those kind of topics because it's not really profitable. I've had some fellow beer reviewers that wanted to be friends on Facebook. Let's be friends on Facebook. And I'm like, okay. But then when it gets into the edgy stuff, then they want to back away. And I was like, wow, you're the one that claimed you were all into edginess. Oh, yeah, but only certain types. I was like, oh, yeah, I gotcha.
I got to know where you stand and if you want to
I don't let it affect my beer rating.
About edgy beers and stuff. And one of the most edgy beers probably of all time was a beer done by Brewdog called The End of History. The bottle was literally inside of a dead squirrel body. A taxidermy to dead squirrel. If that's not edgy, I don't know what is.
Thomas Metal, Eric. Obviously, I would never buy that, okay? The point I'm trying to make with all of this is if the beer tasted good, I don't care how tomfoolish or damn stupid it was, I would still give it a high score. You hear what I'm saying? You know, I said this on Raj's broadcast, and they were like, oh. I was like, no, you brought up the topic.
And if anybody does buy Into the World and they're offended by the squirrel, you can send it over to me. I'll keep it.
Yeah, boy.
If the beer is good, the beer is good. That's the whole point. If the beer is good, it's score it as it exists. If you got a problem with the thematics, don't buy it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
But you don't have to make a big thing out of it like it's some big, oh, I can't believe it. They had some beers in Italy that were called Hitler beer.
Wow.
But Adolf Hitler's face on it. It's like, well, people said, what did you think about that? I was like, I've never seen that in a store. What are you talking about? It's not sold in America. No, it wasn't in Italy. It was in, yeah, it was. It was like in China. I don't know. It was a complicated story, but I've seen the photos, and they were so comical. It's like, why would you make a beer? Why would you make that?
Jeremy did leave us a message saying, hi, guys. So he might be in the waiting room, and there is room for him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Jeremy, I'm sorry. I forgot. I got brass tacks disappeared.
Got out about 10 minutes ago.
Hey, Kentucky Brew Reviews is watching us. Against
Jeremy,
the
welcome back.
They say against the
Kentucky
team in
Brew
Louisville,
Reviews.
Kentucky likes to do edgy beers. They have one called the Brown Note.
Right. I hated that beer, but I never tried it, but I said, oh, I'll never buy that.
Hello,
I didn't
Kentucky
know it was a
Brew
brand.
or
Hey,
beer.
Kentucky Beer Reviews.
Yeah,
I
the
think
Brown
somebody should come up with a super unfiltered New England style IPA, like it's really chunky and got a lot of yeast in the bottom of it, and call it Stifler's beer.
Oh my God, dude! Woo!
Would you drink it?
Stifler really liked the MILF.
See, I don't know a lot of slang, so most of that stuff is beyond it goes over my head. I'm very simple-minded with slang.
Go, buddy, go.
But who agrees with me? You don't have to agree. You're not required to agree with me to join these chats.
No.
Would you score the? What happened? Would you score? You want to come back on next? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, would you score a beer high if it was a fabulous beer, even though you found the label and the concept behind the beer totally offensive?
Yep.
Yes.
It's about the beer in the can or the bottle.
If it's a Hillary's beer, I'd still give it a good rating.
I would score a beer high even if I was against everything the brewery was for.
Okay.
But then like Ron, Ron's been saying, would you even pick that up in the first place?
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
I just don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't buy it. What do you think, Michael? You're thinking deep right now.
I think you have to actually try the beer before you know how good it is or not. So I probably would not be offended by most things. And if I was offended after I looked at the can, then I wouldn't buy it again. But I'm mostly looking at ABV, IBU, and the style. I'm not really looking at the individual bottle or can. I don't look for colors to catch my attention. Nice purple would be, I do like purple. Maybe
Purple, all right.
purple. And Jeremy knows I don't like mango. So if I see
No mango.
mango,
Don't give Michael mango. He's throwing it out.
That's an ongoing joke. That's an ongoing joke. Mango and banana. What do
I'm
you
trying to
think?
find a can that has purple on it.
I like banana in Heffenwiesen. I like banana in that style,
Oh yeah, Hefeweizen.
but I don't like banana.
Pour me some.
So I'm willing to try just about anything, and if I am offended, I wouldn't buy it again. I guess.
I wish Brass Tacks hadn't disappeared. I don't know why he did.
Maybe he had something else to do.
Family man, he's got things going on.
Craig Swenson said most men don't get offended. Oh well, Craig, you haven't met a lot of the men that I was friends with on Facebook.
They're honest and crafty, right?
Because they obviously got offended, those little wimps. Okay. Let it be known that I did not unfriend anybody because I ever got offended.
Right.
They're just wacky.
Let it be known, I never did.
You unfriend wacky people.
Only
Cheeseburger.
I actually never really unfriended anybody. I just told people stop chatting with me like 29 hours a day because I don't know who you are. I don't really know who you are, It's like,
come down.
I never unfriended anybody either. MySpace just stopped.
Didn't want to be your friend anymore. Oh.
I
used to hear about MySpace, but I never joined it.
Jay, I unfriended James P. Madonna after the George Washington Bridge incident.
See? He got offended, Jeremy and Craig.
I was offended.
Now, haha. Now, see, men do get offended. Michael's a real man.
And it's funny because Ronnie
threw him off a bridge. What?
He didn't throw him off. He threatened to. But Ronnie actually moved.
Oh, Ronnie, yeah.
Ronnie, yes, moved to Florida now, so he's further away. He'll have to be off a different.
Away from the.
Yeah, I mean, how many people? I mean, that's pretty bad when you're doing a beer hangout and somebody threatens to beat you up at a bridge. You got to move to a different state. Now, this is not the way it should be. You know,
I'll meet you at the Tampa Bay Bridge.
Well, here comes a bumpy joke. It's Ronnie S moved to Florida. He's become less cool.
Who?
He's saying Ronnie S was cooler when he lived in Long Island than in Florida.
Yeah, because Florida has a higher temperature. It's hotter, so he's less cool.
He's warmer now.
I had to explain my joke, David.
That's brilliant.
I'm offended. I'm offended by this.
There's the Whiskey Scout sitting out there in the basement, not getting on here because people are not letting him come on. Now,
You offended Eric.
Greg Swinson says, I currently have no friends on Facebook.
That's the perfect number.
It's an even number.
Guys, I'm going to be taking off. I have a question for you, Jay. Are you going to be hosting Stout Sunday because John can't?
That looks.
Get your magic 8-ball out.
No,
Do they even sell those anymore?
I'm not getting that. I'm just thinking.
Get whiskey stout in here because there's room for them.
There you go.
Let's say, yeah, probably could. Yeah, probably could.
11.
Oh, Robert's been backstage for the last 20 minutes, he said.
I know.
Let Robert in.
He's only offended by padded bras. But he wants to come on to my hangout. Okay. Okay, Michael. Yeah, I'll probably do it.
It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys in passing. Everybody take care.
All right,
Okay,
cheers,
see you,
Michael.
More than likely. We avoid reviewing beers with names that YouTube may not deem advertiser friendly. We normally keep those for live streams since YouTube tends to leave those alone, says Kentucky Brew Review. Okay, so see, they have a certain approach to it. If it's offensive,
That's a good idea.
they don't put it on their main thing because they don't want to catch grief about it.
Whiskey stout. I'm offended by the way you're sitting right now.
So you
Sit up
wouldn't be
straight.
offended by a padded bra, the promise of something that isn't delivered?
I don't like it. I don't like deception. I mean, whatever it is, you know. Even makeup, in a way, is deception.
Augmented reality.
Well, you know, what was the old show? Seinfeld said it best. I got an ass, but I don't got no tits.
Oh,
You know, you got to see the obvious here. Anyway, off of that subject. So you guys know what I'm drinking. Easy Sport by
I've heard of it.
Boulevard. It's a recreation beer with tangerine peel and sea salt. I like it a lot better. I started with the Lagunitas.
Yeah.
Whatever, citrus. I can't.
You need to do the Waldos. I wish I had
All
one
right,
of those.
I've actually been posing as somebody that might be smart. Hold on 1 second, guys. There we go.
Oh, okay. Now we get it. It's making sense now.
What do you think about? We're about to shut this down. What do you think about our topic, Whiskey Scout? Robert, you agree with that? What we were saying about scoring and whatnot, generally?
Well, yeah. You know, the hardest part about scoring, even with your own system, is when you deviate to styles of beers you don't like, trying to be objective enough to score it within the genre that it's in. But the problem is you got to have a lot of experience. And for instance, what would be a good? I don't drink a lot of like light beers, for instance. So I couldn't be fair until maybe I tried a bunch of light beers. I'd have to have a base to work from to judge it with a fair view. And as far as your marketing thing, I agree with you. I think we talked about it once before. A lot of that devil stuff they put on beers and stuff, I won't buy and try. And it's not that I'm overly religious or anything. To me, it's if you have to work that hard to sell your product, what is the problem?
Right. Why couldn't you make it about flowers or a bridge or some historical monument,
There's any number of things
brewed today.
If you're trying to attract more sales by being edgy into something that most people do find offensive at some degree, what's the purpose?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like you're losing in a way before you start. Johnny Neely says, cheers, everyone. I wish I could have joined y'all tonight. Been a long day at work. I'll watch the playback later. Cheers. Yeah. Thank you, John and Neely. We understand Thomas Meadows or New York or about things. All right. Now, Whiskey Scout, I'm sorry you were waiting so long. I was just, you know what happened? Oh, Snake Party. I had that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
I've never seen it.
Oh, man. I want to.
It tastes like it's more. It's not taste like it's more than 10%, but it hits you like it's more than 10%. For some reason, I don't think it's 10%. It hits me like a 12 or 13.
Yeah,
one more time, Shane.
It's a lost 40 out of Arkansas.
Well, that is gangster. That is gangster. He sent it to me. Shane sent it to me, didn't you, Shane?
Yeah. Yeah.
I drank 2 of them.
Yeah,
he sent me that was 2 years.
This be a kicker, but
yeah, it seems like it's way more than 10. I don't think they've got it right on that.
They might be
way more
for legal reasons, right?
Yeah, they may.
They put out some beers.
Whiskey Scout. He was waiting in the waiting room, and I didn't. You know what happened when we were doing this discussion? I started becoming like a viewer. You know what I'm saying? Like I was listening to people. And I forgot, oh, wait, you have to moderate. I do that a lot of times when I hang out. I start becoming like a viewer, which is mainly what I am. And I start becoming like a listener more than the active.
I was real late. We started eating about 5 minutes before you went on, and I wasn't going to rush my meal so I just listened to y'all until I had a chance to come down and log on. And I figured if you could work me in, you would. If you couldn't, I understood that too. I wasn't too worried about it.
Well, I like the meals you post on Alcohol Legs.
You got a new one to look at. I just did one while ago with the Lagunitas that I showed you.
I'm going to check that out tomorrow morning.
Yep.
I think Eric's backstage now, so I don't know.
Okay. John said StreamYard's pretty user-friendly. It is user-friendly. I don't like the deal about you can only let 6 people in. That's not so friendly, but maybe that
actually
I know this much. I'll tell y'all this much. When they tell me I have to pay to do it, you won't see any more hangouts coming from me.
I hear you. I tell you what, though, I like I know 10 is awesome, but sometimes it can be too much.
Hectic.
Especially when you're watching it, it's like, whoa.
It's too
Everybody's
hectic.
talking about it.
Yeah, it does get crazy sometimes.
So I actually kind of like this because it limits you to, you have to, get people in and out, and, they can talk and then say what they want to, and you can, bring them back off. And that's what else come in.
In some ways, I like this better because sometimes it was distracting on Hangouts when somebody would make an accidental noise in the background, bump something, and it would switch screens real quick to that. Then it switch right back to the person talking.
Or lock on them and stay on them the whole deal.
Sometimes it would fail. Yeah, like Jeremy's saying, sometimes the system would fail and it'd be locked on one person the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we do have room for Thomas. He is backstage. I don't know. I know that you said you're going to be ending this soon. But.
Yeah, I'm ending it. So, Eric, I'm not doing this to irritate you. I'm doing it because it's over.
I've never had a peanut butter milk stout.
Me either.
Yes.
I did from Louisiana, and it's called Corova Milk Peanut Butter Stout. And oh, baby,
I had that. I picked that up once in New Orleans myself down at Stein's.
it was a beautiful beer, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's good.
All right,
There's
well, y'all
one
take
more.
care. I guess y'all can hang out as long as you want. I think if I end the broadcast, will it kill y'all's hangout? I don't know. We'll see. Here we go.
I don't think it will.
Well, if you don't let Thomas Metal in though, then I don't think he can join.
Oh, okay.
You gotta let when you go off air, let him join. Then there you go. There he is.
I know I had him. Okay.
Oh, I have to use my voice. There we go. That's how it works. Yes,
Yeah.
that's you, Shane. Shane Foot, you're up there, Shane. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, go.